Like, this fucking Teddy Roosevelt-looking motherfucker is taking animals and capturing them for his science. And he's imposing his, like, machine industry will over the landscape. Yeah. And Sonic is an animal who is going out to save his buddies. That is how the original manual described it. Like, he's going to save his woodland friends. The little animal critters that are in the fucking robots that he's smashing, they're his friends and he's saving them because they're his buddies. That's how it's described. Which I'm always... God... I'm always amused by, like, how non-furries are, like, always confused about stupid shit like that. Like, oh, why are some animals regular animals and some animals are anthropomorphized? Because who fucking cares? You're stupid. That's why. It's because you're stupid. It's because you touch yourself at night. That's why. Fucking idiot. No one cares. Woo! Why could this happen? There we go. Yeeh! So that's Sonic's goal. He's like, fuck that guy, I'm gonna go save my buddies. If there was a princess to be saved, he would probably be like, fuck her. Fuck that thought, bros before hoes. That would probably be what Sonic would say. Total edgelord. But like the 90s version of an edgelord, so he's like sticking his finger out with like a, yeah, fuck the establishment, man. Fuck the, you could almost see, like, Eggman, and I'm just gonna call him Egg. I have died more from bottomless pits and being smushed to death than from actual enemies or boss encounters so far. Gee, I wonder what that says about this game's level design. Anyway. So actually, what's happening here is I'm kind of repeating things that I've already said more eloquently in previous videos that I've done talking about Sonic in the first place. So I might be being a little bit redundant, and to an inferior degree compared to what I've said previously. But you get my point. Whoa. Woo! Yeah! This game's awesome. Wait, there we go. Hell with you crabs! I always also think it's interesting that Robotnik is making robots modeled after animals. He's making robot animals and shoving animals inside them to power them up as like a battery source. That's fucked up, Robotnik. There we go. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna get all the emeralds. You know what I like about the Sonic games? They've never explained where the Chaos Emeralds come from. They have never fucking explained that. Like, they were just there. These emeralds are just a thing. And, like, over they've shown, like, the history of certain civilizations and what they've done with the Chaos Emerald, but they've never been like, here's the Chaos Emerald's fucking origin story. Oh my god. Which I always really think is interesting and kind of appreciate. God damn it! The physics of this fucking stage are terrible! Actually, I have to, like, concentrate. Ah, shit. Yeah, I'm not gonna get all the emeralds. Anyway. So, I've always liked Sonic, and I never even had a Sega Genesis as a kid. That's probably why I like Sonic 2 as the first Sonic game I played. And, very, very obviously has shaped my development. Oh, god damn you, sons of bitches. Which is kind of why, like, the reason it took me so long to getting around. Yep, I don't know what I was thinking. To wanting to do these videos is because A, I didn't really want to start with the first game because I'm A, very bad at it, and B, I'm just not that fond of it. Like, 2 is the one where I actually am like, yeah, video games. Son of a... Oh, no shade on the game, I am kind of sucking at the moment. And also because I was very kind of worried that I wouldn't really have a lot of stuff to talk about. I guess I would talk, like... the things that make, like, Sonic unique as a 2D platformer, because again, he existed in that competitive space of 2D platforming as, like, the industry default choice of genre. That's just not gonna happen. Is he kind of, like, had a bit more substance to the presentation of the universe that he takes place in. Like, there's never really any real logic to take, like, Bubsy. Like, what's the universe that he takes place in? What are his enemies that he has to deal with? What's the world that he's running around in? There was never really a lot of consideration put into that. He was just a mascot character, and they made a generic cartoon landscape for him to run around in. Sonic actually has, like, he's a woodland critter, and he's running around where he starts out in Green Hill Zone, which is just your typical kind of... Whoa! These stages. I would actually take Sonic 2 stages over these ones, at least. Actually, when I say that now, but boy are those stages annoying also. Fucking goddamn it. I am so not gonna get these emeralds. He starts out in like a typical nature thriving woodland area, and as you progress through the game, you get more and more industrialized with the level design. Literally, how the level is designed visually. Yep. And that kind of represents, like, it represents Sonic's progression from a familiar, like, landscape. I mean, when the game is over, and you beat the game, he runs back to Green Hill Zone. So, like, that's... you can basically take that as being his home area. So it shows him, like, progressing further and further away from home, and closer to, like, the source of the seat of Eggman's power, the very center of his mechanized his base of power, you know, like the place where he's in charge of things. It's all, like, factoryatized and... Oh, I thought there was a hole in the wall there. Let me check real quick. All factoried up and openly industrial in nature, as a contrast to where Sonic started out, being like this relatively untouched nature area. Which again shows this over, like, theme of, I won't say anti-industrialism, but like technology versus nature, and our hero is a creature of nature. This, you know, just this humble little hedgehog. He's not humble at all. He's an asshole. Like, he's, like, in universe, there's not supposed to be anything special about Sonic compared to the other animal critters running around. He's just supposed to be any other hedgehog who's like, fuck this, I ain't gonna take this laying down, and goes out and answers the call to adventure to deal with the situation. And the villain is an inventor, a human, the seemingly, at first, the only human in the setting. And he's running around making robots and machines and fucking over the animals. Ah, god damn it. And, like... Son of a bitch! And, like, corrupting over nature, basically. And it also it shows Sonic's progression away from home and further into, like, Robotnik's Seat of Power, and it shows how he's expanding. Like, you can take it both ways of, fuck, his influence over the landscape starts out being minimal, and then the further you go, it's completely his deal. Like, he's in charge of things now. Just based on the level design alone. So that's like implicit storytelling. Ah, shit, what was my point? Fuck! Also, once again, gotta love that I died from a fucking bottomless pit, and not because... Although, I guess that does count as a boss, because... like, he's taking away the floor to kill you. So, I guess you could technically count that as finally a boss or enemy killed me, even though it's a really dumb one. Ah. Oh, I lost on my score, too. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, just, I don't think this original game is aged very well. There's things that are, like, seem really bullshitty and inexcusable, like game design sins of, why did you make the level that way, you fucking dick? That's super unfair. I mean, you have these fucking big-ass spikes floating up and down in this sloped downward area. You're selling this character as being like a speedster, as being a character that you just blaze through the level, whip dash like a blue blur, and then you have these obstacles where if you don't take it slow and take consideration for your path forward, you're gonna run into them and take damage, and it's gonna feel like bullshit. And you know why it feels like bullshit? Because it's bullshit. They get, obviously, way better about that in the second game forward, but here, in the first one, it's like, why did you do this? That seems really bad that you would have done this. Free shield at least. Oh no. Ooh! So many weird things that can crush you too. Bottomless pits and Crushionators. Ooh. Ah, shit. Come on. Come on. That's a... Oh! That's not fucking fair! Yeah. I'm fucking trying to remember the points I'm trying to make and talk about, but fucking game's super frustrating. This is again partially one of the reasons it took me a while to finally be like, okay, let's get around to doing this. I'm just really not fond of the first song. What even happened? What was that? I'm just really not fond of the first Sonic game, quite frankly. I find it to be kind of incredibly frustrating to deal with all these things that they fucking paved over in the future games. Come on, I can't talk about anything until I kill this guy. Oh no! This is why. I've had this idea for a while. I've wanted to do fucking videos of of all the Sonic games. This is why I kept putting off, because I'm like, well, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna have to start with the first game. I'll put that off till later, because I don't think this is a particularly good game. I don't have any nostalgic affection for the first Sonic game. I don't think it's a particularly good video game. I don't think it's particularly well designed. I mean, in a white room, as like, this is the only game that came out, like, without comparing it to the rest of the games in the series, I would definitely take this over any of the other slew of terrible 90s 2D platformers. But just, man, like, it's so hard to come back to this game for me. So like, I was like, man, I don't know what to talk about, and also I'm gonna suck. Like, possibly losing all of my lives and continues, and, like, just completely failing the game and having to start all over is a very legitimate concern for this fucking video. Like, I'm not gonna front, that could happen. It's happened in the past when I've, like, oh, I'll play all this, I want to play all the Sonic games. And I just fucking couldn't beat this one. I just get a game over and have to start all the way over. I'm like, fuck that, I don't want to play this game anymore. So we'll see what fucking happens, but... like, that's how I'm treating this game. It's like, we've gotta get through it. Let's just get through this so we can get to the other good Sonic games. And also, again, I fucking point to this game and be like, to all those people who are like, oh, Sonic hasn't been good since the Genesis. The Genesis games are good. This one's not good. I would have to struggle and add on qualifiers to say that the original Sonic the Hedgehog game on the Genesis is a good game. I frankly don't feel like that is the case. So, yeah, Sonic 2 and 3 are good. Sonic 1's not very good, and hey, like, just this blanket ignorant statement, quite frankly. That's what it is, it's ignorance, and I don't have a lot of respect for it. Anyway, we'll try and get through this as bloody and broken as we have to be to do so. So that we can get to Sonic 2, and I promise when we get to Sonic 2, I'll A, be better at the game, and B, have more to talk about that I haven't already, like, that isn't just me restating stuff that I've said before. Actually, I can't promise that I'm gonna get crushed. I will hopefully be better at the game, though. Anyway. What was I trying to talk about 12 hours ago? Or so it feels like. That's another thing. There's nothing special about Sonic. Like, he's not some... Actually, that's... The 3D games actually kind of get into that a little bit. God damn it. The 3D games actually get into that a little bit, but starting out here, like, Sonic's not some chosen one. He wasn't destined to be a hero. It wasn't like the chosen, decreed knight who's like, yeah, you're the one who's gonna do it. He's just a normal guy. He's just a regular dude who's like, yeah, fuck it. And that's the thing. He doesn't... That's another thing that I really like about Sonic, is he's not like a hero. He's not like, I'm gonna go save the world because that's the right thing to do or what. Like, he will do the right thing, and he is a hero. But that's not his ambition. His motivation in choosing to go out and like try and help people, which he does, and fight against evil, which is also a thing. That is the case. Never understood why people had like, oh, the deathly fear. Oh, what the hell even happened there? I like slipped over something. Sonic's controls are always like kind of floaty. It's really weird. Like he has this weirdly slow start up to his movement. Like look at how this isn't the best level to show it off in, but he has like a weirdly slow start to getting to top speed. Like look at how much of this floor you have to get. Like he doesn't even reach top speed on that. He needs more than that section of ground in order to hit his top speed. It's super weird. He doesn't like, I'm gonna go save the world. He's like, that sounds like a fun adventure. It reminds me of Sonic's the kind of guy who, have you ever seen the Robin Williams movie Hook? Or like the Robin Williams Peter Pan movie Hook, where he's like a grown-up Peter Pan? There's a line in that movie I really like where he's like, he's fighting Captain Hook at the end, and Hook's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And Peter Pan says, to die would be a great adventure. That is the kind of character that Sonic is. He's the kind of guy who would be like, yeah, a new frontier to race across the tracks in. Like, he goes wherever the wind takes him, and he, like, whatever he feels like doing, it doesn't matter now what happens. Again, we'll get to that with the 3D games. Like, that's another thing. When people bash the 3D games have, like, all this characterization that I think is really nifty. I mean, not that characterization didn't exist here in the 2D games. God fucking damn it, I hate this! There we go. Why? I swear to God. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of this whatsoever. There we go. Here we go. Okay. Getting there. We're getting there. Come on. Ah, no! Yes! No! Why? There we go. Holy shit. That characterization did exist in these 2D games, but it was implicit. It wasn't, like, part of the script, so to speak. But in the 3D games, it was part of the script, and I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't get people's negativity. I don't get people's positivity to these games. Like, even the Genesis games I like, I could criticize. I have things to say about them that are not, like, positive. So people treat these games like, oh, the 3D games are all bad. No? And the Genesis games are all good. Also, no. I don't get people. And if, quite frankly, I don't wanna get people. God, come on. Oh, is it because I'm holding forward? That's probably it, yeah. There we go. Ooh.